Good evening. Please join me in a round of applause for the Ballet Folklorico group from Woodrow Wilson High School. Buenas tardes. Allow me to be the first of many to say welcome to Texas. We're thrilled you guys are here. My name is Nancy Diaz. I am a second-year DFW Corps member and the proud teacher of 17 exquisite second graders at John W. Runyon Elementary in Pleasant Grove. I am a Dallas native, and like my students are now, I was educated in the Dallas Independent School District. I am a UT Longhorn, a loyal Dallas Cowboys fan, and believe it or not, the youngest of 9 children. But above all, I am the passionate and relentless advocate for my students, their families, their community, and their dreams. Now, you guys have probably already formed your opinion about Dallas, right? Cowboys, flatland, heat, traffic. But let me tell you about the Dallas that I know. Growing up in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas, I had the idea that I lived in a big city, but with a small town feel. That could be connected to the bubble that I grew up in, sheltered from many experiences and lacking interest in anything that did not exist beyond the stop sign down the street. Therefore, I loved Dallas. I was proud of Dallas. But now, as a teacher in one of the poorest zip codes in Dallas, I look differently upon my city. I see injustice, I see segregation, I see poverty. But then I drive down the street and I see extravagant wealth. That's the story I've come to expect of Dallas, the haves and the have-nots. I'm here because of the anger that fuels my fire. I'm angry that our city has the highest childhood poverty rate for any large urban center in the nation. I'm angry that only 4% of students of color graduate college ready in Dallas. I'm angry because zip codes are determining dreams. I'm most angry because these statistics apply to my 17 babies. I think of my sweet student, Alessandro. He is 8 years old, and I swear to you, he is the most intelligent, kind-hearted, and goofy person I will probably ever meet. He is the unwavering leader in my classroom and the inevitable leader of this nation. And yet, as a Mexican-American male, as a person of color growing up in Pleasant Grove, he deserves so much more than what has already been predetermined for him. These statistics anger me, but they've also done something else. They have empowered a passion for justice and education that I never knew I had. They have ignited my students' fires, which will one day burn the statistics that they were born into. Yes, I am pretty angry, but I'm also hopeful. I have joined a movement that is making big strides in transforming the landscape of this city and igniting the fight towards equity, quality, and change. Tonight, you will hear from others who are standing with me united in this fight. Now, my part in this movement is in a classroom just a few miles away, and my fire is just beginning to blaze. I've made a promise to myself and my students that I will work my entire life to open every door that I can for them. And that starts right here in Dallas. That starts right here in Dallas because Dallas is my home. Dallas is where my family is. Dallas is where my students are growing up. Dallas is my fight. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Young, and I'm with the Boone Family Foundation. Welcome to Texas. We are a city with a past. Some myth, some reputation. The truth is probably somewhere in between. I imagine not that different from other cities from across America. You see, the legacy of slavery and immigration discrimination touches all parts of the nation. Dallas is a segregated city, defined years ago by where people could live, work, and play. This has slowly changed, but this continues to affect us. In the 1960s, there was a hard core of intolerant people in Dallas who were vocal and visible in their extremist views towards the United Nations, communists, Catholics, all based on a white supremacy theology. They were radicals, but they were allowed to prevail during the time of President Kennedy's visit. The city leaders have been hyper-vigilant since that time, maintaining peace, because they wanted to prevent further tragedy and unrest. So one thing that is different about Dallas is that it did not really exercise its civil rights muscles like other places. There has been a silence on certain issues. The Boone Family Foundation started in 2008, focused on making long-term systemic change for women and girls, children, and the environment. We tried to learn everything we could about public education, and we asked for disaggregated data by gender and race. Well, that was quite challenging to get because those were some of the things that there was the silence on. Then in 2009, Teach for America came to Dallas to launch its program to close the achievement gap for children of color. Teach for America leaders called education inequity the civil rights issue of their current generation. It was so refreshing to hear this truth spoken out loud, and it planted a seed. So jump ahead 5 years to 2012, and Dallas has had several racial tension incidents in the headlines. Two foundations come together based on a shared value to make lasting change by addressing the elephant in the room, race. Race is a common root cause of issues like poverty, human rights, and education inequity. We recognize that one of the barriers to talking about race was that we really didn't know how to do it. In the community, we saw that a combination of history, the absence of conversation, and fear prevented people from addressing that topic. But if we never talk about root causes, how will solutions truly make lasting change when they can only address surface-level side effects? So together, the Embry and the Boone Family Foundations launched an initiative called Dallas Faces Race, a forum to bring together more than 280 local nonprofits, including many working in education, to come together to have conversations in safe space and to meet others interested in action. We provide resources such as the racial justice workshops to learn a common vocabulary so that we can have meaningful discussions and learn to be comfortable with our uncomfortableness about talking about race. We also helped to sponsor the 2014 Facing Race National Conference held in Dallas, the first time ever in a southern state. It included a teacher workshop called Talking About Race in the Classroom. We did this because we heard from educators that they need and want skills and tools to talk with their students. There was a recent Dallas poll, and the #1 thing that people across races agreed was that working on racial equity matters for the sake of their children. They called out law enforcement and educators to lead this work for the children. So speak truth, disaggregate the data, get comfortable with being uncomfortable talking about race. These are the things that we are working on in Dallas to support lasting change and equity. We leave you with a little conversation starter in your registration packets. It's these little things that go on the back of your phone so that you can take back these conversations to your communities and help lift the silence and work together towards education equity. Thank you.
Welcome to Dallas. My name is Todd Williams. I'm the Executive Director of the Commit Partnership, and I'm also pleased to serve as the Education Advisor to Mayor Mike Rawlings. Like Nancy, I am a DISD graduate. I grew up here, not too far from where she teaches school, in a neighborhood where that was my bubble, and that was the world to me, and all I really cared about was trying to get myself out of my circumstance and use college to basically provide me an opportunity to have a successful life. I did that for 25 years, and then I retired 5 years ago to focus full-time on ed reform because I couldn't stand the fact that in this city that did me so well and helped me have the American dream and the ability to live it, that I saw that ladder of opportunity being pulled up from behind me. And so like I and others from the business community have decided that we're going to take this on, along with many other voices in this community. It's indefensible that we have a city with 18 billionaires, and yet we lead the nation of large cities in child poverty. It's indefensible that only 50% of our children come to school kindergarten ready, and only 35% of them are literate by the end of third grade and can answer 70% of their questions on a third grade reading exam. It's indefensible that by the time they graduate from high school, only 14% of our kids in this region are college ready, and yet we graduate 84% of our kids. We give them a diploma that tells them that it means something, and when in reality, and oftentimes, it doesn't. So what makes this place different is that there is a growing sense of collectivism, that that we are in the same boat. And that no matter how good your school district is, or no matter how good the school is that your kids get to attend, we should take no great pleasure that the whole is on someone else's side of the boat. We're all in this boat together. 1 in 10 kids in America is educated in Texas, and 1 in 10 kids in Texas is educated here. So what happens here matters. And so I want to make sure that understand that the Boone Family Foundation and other foundations have come together to fund things like Teach for America. It's hard to believe that it didn't exist here, the hometown of its founder, Winnie Kopp, until 2009. But it has been an accelerant and a jet fuel for this region in terms of the number of people who are engaged and involved in driving this work. And Edwin Flores, who's also here, was on the school board that helped bring TFA here 6 years ago. And so I want to make sure that what really makes us different in other ways is also the fact that there's a real sense of partnership in this community. We call ourselves the Commit Partnership, and our slogan is Our Kids, Our Tomorrow. And we take the data that Cynthia talks about, and we disaggregate it, and we focus where we should focus on next, where are the biggest leaks in our pipeline, and how do we bring all the resources to bear in our region to focus. So for example, in Southwest Dallas, where effectively only 1 in 5 kids is able to pass that third grade reading test, we're bringing in institutions like TFA to provide training not only to core members, but to non-core members in those regions and the professional development that our youngest and novice teachers need. And we're doing things in a whole host of manners. So for example, we recently announced that one of our largest school districts is now partnering up with our largest charter network to co-locate in a building proactively, voluntarily, not being forced upon them, because they want to learn from each other in the spirit of partnership. So then the final thing we're thinking about and doing meaningful work on is how do we create new schools of education that are in close partnership with our school districts, bring best practices in a competency-based model, because at the end of the day, if we can just get every child ready for school and kindergarten, and if we can have an effective educator in front of every child, we think 80 to 90% of the battle is done there. So welcome to Dallas, and thank you for listening.
Well, I'll have to tell you first, it's really tough to follow Cynthia and Todd and anything having to do with ed reform, because these are two of the absolute leaders in the community, along with all our TFA teachers and all the administrators and other teachers that help and work with them every single day. I'm going to talk to you about Dallas 2008. I was on the school board, on the Dallas school board. We have 9 single-member districts, and it could be, as was pointed out, pretty tense. And in 2008, the administration and the community came to us and said, you really need Teach for America. That is something that you need in this community. It's something that can help accelerate change, that can make a difference for kids every single day in their classroom. But the question was, how do we do it? And so a group of folks and the administration got together and said, school board, we want to bring Teach for America to Dallas. And we want to have a 2-year contract, and it's going to be 30 teachers the first year, and then 30 teachers the second year. That was the contract, a little itty-bitty little contract. You would have thought that, we were going to, that the school district was coming to an end when you hear the folks that came to speak to the school board. You also have to remember, this is 2008. The financial crisis is starting to occur in America. The school district is not losing a lot of teachers because they're saying, you know what, I better keep my job. And so it was incredibly controversial to bring just 30 teachers, TFA teachers, to a school district with over 10,000 teachers. We didn't know we had the votes. I knew there were 4 of us that were for it. I knew there were 3 that were completely against it, no matter what. We had speaker after speaker come and speak against bringing Teach for America to Dallas. It was going to take away our jobs. These teachers aren't certified. These people aren't going to stay in education. And no matter how much data you presented, the forces of evil. Sorry, I have no other. Todd has heard me say this many times. Those in opposition to bringing Teach for America to Dallas filled up seats wearing bright red shirts or purple shirts. I can't remember what it was in the school board meeting. And so the time came to vote, and we had been briefed over and over and over to the school board. Everybody knew what it was, and we just didn't know if we had the votes. And so we had a big debate as to whether this was a good thing or not. I still didn't know who was with us and who was against us. And at the end of the day, we press our little buttons, we look up, and we win 5-4. So you think this is the end of the story, but it's not. It's actually the beginning of the story. So first of all, in what rational world does TFA not get a 9-0 vote? Really? In what rational world does it not? We had all the data, we had all the information, decades of work, and yet we only got 5-4 vote. So the next year, the administration comes back, Todd, I know remembers this, and says, we want to expand our Teach for America contract. We want to grow our Teach for America contract. So we have to have this debate all over again. And the same 25 individuals that showed up to the previous school board meeting show up and make their same poor arguments, but this time we had the data to back up what a difference our core members were making. And it was significant. And I can tell you, line and verse of in how many different ways and how many different subject matters we were seeing outstanding results. But still, I didn't know where the votes were. So we come in, I know I've got 4 votes, there are 3 that are completely against. We press our little buttons, and we win 6-3. It was, I know that the business community and all our supporters, the philanthropic community, had been burning the phone lines for this win. So not having been satisfied with enough of a fight, the following year, or the year after, I believe, the administration says, we want to do a 3-year contract. And there's a group of us in the room that says, no, we're not. We're going to do a 5-year contract. And it's going to be the largest contract, I understand, at the time that TFA had ever had in the United States. And so we pushed forward with it, knowing the opposition, and after we pressed the buttons, it's 7-2. That's when I knew that Teach for America was here to stay in Dallas, Texas. It has now expanded, and I'm sure you'll hear all about the expansion of Teach for America. This is just the Dallas School District, to charter schools, to adjacent school districts, helping kids every single day, 17 young kids in 2nd grade at Runyon Elementary achieve their dreams. That is the impact that you guys are having in this community, thanks to the support of the philanthropic community, the business community, the mayor. It is here to stay, and I hope that we can expand that contract even more in the future. Thank you.
There has never been a better time to reside in our region than now. Our local economies are thriving. We're having substantive conversations about new modes of transportation, new forms of urban planning, and other critical conversations that we know have a tremendous impact on our city and our region's success. And over the past year, the eyes of the nation and the world have gazed upon Dallas and our region due to events like the United States Conference of Mayors and the New Cities Summit. With all of the excitement that accompanies growth and success, it's important that we remember one truth, the most important truth. As our public schools go, so goes the region. I joined the Board of Trustees as the president now, rooted in understanding that truth and the impact that it has on our children's future. The author James Baldwin once said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced." In Dallas ISD, we are experiencing transformation like never before, and we're continued to ensuring that every single child, regardless of the situation that they may face, receives a high-quality instruction. A quick scan of the past 2 years in our district will show you examples of the foundation building that we know needs to take place to make sure that this vision actually becomes a reality. We have a new pay-for-performance pay system for our educators that places the focus not on tenure, but on effective instruction. We have a new evaluation system that aims to try to build our educators up rather than break them down. And we've got support systems that match the accountability. Our financial house is sound, and we know we are on the right path. But our region can no longer hide from the tough conversations we need to be having. Conversations about race and poverty and equity. Conversations about discipline policies that still exist in our region that disproportionately impact young African American and Hispanic males and continues to feed the school-to-prison pipeline. Conversations that we know we should have been having and we must have now. President Kennedy once said, "Today our concern can no longer be about the past. Today our concern must be about the future, for the world is changing. The old era is past. The old ways will not do." I continue to look at the future of our region and the future of our public schools through the lens of opportunity, not challenge. I look at the future as a new educational frontier, a frontier where every 3- and 4-year-old receives a high-quality pre-K education, putting them on a path to success, a new educational frontier where the talk is not about pitting one side against the other or tearing down our systems. You and I both know that those conversations need to be finished. We need to figure out a way to plug into the equation and to work together. In our region, we are embarking on this new educational frontier, and I challenge each and every one of you in this room tonight to join us as pioneers in that new educational frontier. My question now is, will you?
Good evening. My name is Erin Nicole Barksdale, and I am a 2007 Teach for America Metro Atlanta Corps member. And I am a proud member of the TFA DFW community, where we are over 500 strong. 70% of my fellow DFW alumni are working directly in education, and we are building an even larger force of leaders who have big beliefs that all kids will attend and graduate from college. Now, I have to tell you that Dallas, Texas was not on my radar. Hampton Preparatory High School was not on my radar. But since relocating to Dallas, Texas from Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte! And recognizing that, the Texas heat does magical things to my hair and my edges, that was a learning curve. I have recognized and become a part of a community that believes that choice and opportunity for every kid is as amazing and as wonderful and as right as a tall glass of water on a hot 105 degrees, sweltering Dallas day. But I was drawn to call Dallas home because choice and opportunity for all are what this city aspires towards. And at Uplift Hampton Preparatory High School, where I serve as the proud principal for its second year, our mission is to create choice and opportunity for every kid. And in 17 months, we have done just that. Our school saw the highest growth in its history on the 2014 EOCs, where we earned double-digit gains in core content areas, 90% pass rates in biology, and in U.S. history. Thank you. 100% of my 49 seniors graduated from high school, were accepted into college, are matriculating into college, and they collectively earn $8 million in scholarship money. This year's seniors, their opportunity to be admitted into selective colleges and earn scholarship money has increased when they collectively averaged 4-point gains on their ACT, and my undocumented scholars are receiving one-on-one support so that their educational pursuits do not end with a question mark or a period on May 23rd, 2015, but rather a comma and, which states that their educational opportunities will continue. In South Dallas, in Oak Cliff, off I-20 and 67 North, education is about choice and opportunity. And the choices and opportunities are limitless for the Black and brown faces that I serve every single day. And even though the media showcases that the choices for Black and brown faces may result in their bodies lying lifeless in the middle of the street like Mike Brown, or them being told to go back to their country like so many of my Latino scholars, the choices for my kids at Hampton Preparatory are a powerful demonstration of academic success, college focus, and community support. So I speak the names of Alejandra Coronado, and Khalil Payton, and Donovan Mann, and Bajana Stevens, and Nicole Medrano, and Destiny Lee. Because those kids, my kids, and those 299 scholars that I serve every single day at Hampton Preparatory are making the choices and believing in the opportunities that they will radically alter their life paths. So I stand united with the strong teachers and the strong leaders in this region who believe that this is hard work and that this is heart work. And we stand firmly rooted in establishing the expectation that choices and opportunities will make one day today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is such an honor to give you a glimpse into the city that we love. I'm Alex Hales, and I could not be prouder to be the Executive Director of Teach for America Dallas-Fort Worth, and I get to round out this Dallas story. You've just heard from some incredible friends and colleagues that I cherish and admire, and they told you that the Dallas community has not done everything right. But we are determined to create meaningful, sustainable change for all students and their families. The unfinished nature of our work weighs on the hearts and minds of our community members and inspires action. Dallas is unfinished because all children do not have access to the opportunities they deserve. The systems in our city do not represent the equity we aspire to achieve, and many times we allow differences among us to delay progress. But being unfinished does not mean we are not powerful. Dreaming big and doing big things are in Dallas's DNA. We are powerful because of our commitment to partnership. In Dallas, school districts, community-based organizations, and local government officials are aligning on what matters most for students and pursuing it. We are powerful because we know that change requires courageous leadership. Week by week, progress is possible because of individuals like Nancy Diaz, Cynthia Young, Todd Williams, Edwin Flores, Miguel Solis, Aaron Barksdale, and others who are stepping up to lead and inviting others to lead alongside them. We are powerful because we are persistent. Dallasites refuse to settle and know that important change is made through thousands of conversations and pushing past failure. Dallas is powerful, yet unfinished. Now, I believe that Dallas is a special place, but I also believe that the challenges and aspirations of Dallas are shared by the nation and by Teach for America. As an organization, we are unfinished. We are far from perfect. We fail often. At times, we overcomplicate things. Sometimes, in the pursuit of growth, we, how should I say this? Texans might say we navel gaze. But despite our flaws, we are powerful beyond measure. We are persistent because we know that driving towards systemic change requires consistent and intentional action from every individual, every moment of every day. We get tired, we get bruised, we dig deep, and we get back up again. We are courageous. We ask hard questions to evolve our theory on what it will take to tackle systemic inequalities. We are not immune to fear, but we refuse to let fear be the place we lead from. It takes courage to speak up for what is just, and it takes courage to listen. To maintain persistence and courage, we remember that we are not alone. We are powerful because we are connected and interdependent. Our organization is not one core member, one alum, one MTLD, one team, or one region. We are a community of 37,000 alumni, 10,000 core members, and 2,500 staff members who work arm in arm with countless other organizations. Our shared experiences strengthen us and position us to take collective action. We are stronger yet because we know dramatic change for students is best pursued in partnership. As I tell the new DFW core members each June at induction, they are powerful yet unfinished. We are powerful yet unfinished. Teach for America is powerful yet unfinished.